Yeah, exactly. And then that way I'm not like stressing on editing while I'm trying to go to the Christmas party. And then we have to go shopping for the kids after the Christmas party. And then, like I said, and then Sunday we have to, I'm going to be making chili, and then we're doing the Christmas tree with the kids and, watching Christmas movies and stuff. So
that sounds magical. I wish we all lived closer. Sometimes we do like chili days at my house, and everybody will bring their own kind of chili.
This is my first time ever making chili.
I can't believe that.
You'll be so surprised at how easy it is.
It's so easy. I literally made it on Tuesday, just like in the crock pot.
It's a great like build on recipe. Like once you've done it a couple of times and you know your base, then you can do pretty much anything with it. Like I said, like we use ground turkey and sweet potato in ours.
Well, I didn't really ever like chili before. Like I wasn't really a fan of chili. And so, I never really like made it and eat it. I didn't really like it. And then, but now that I'm like older, it's different. Like I like it now. It's warm and cozy and comforting.
A little bit of sour cream, some cheese, some chives.
Okay, but question, are you going to put noodles in it or no?
No, we're not from Cincinnati. Brother.
That's called hamburger soup.
Do you put noodles in yours?
You don't even go here. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't, but when we have the chili cook-off, somebody always brings like elbow noodles.
Huh.
That's weird.
So funny.
It's like one of those things that people debate for no fucking reason.
It's like goulash.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
At that point.
The fat guy in me is really offended.
Yeah. That's like, what is that? Like the people that put raisins in fucking macaroni salad? Like.
Yeah, the only correlation I can draw between putting macaroni in your chili is that like both chili and things like goulash, we always do like must-go casserole, which is like anything that's in the fridge that must go will go into that casserole with like your tomato sauce and everything else.
Is that Russian?
It's Dutch. It's Dutch.
I was just like, oh, it's a Canadian animal or something. Moose.
What color should we go with?
You could go with blue.
I would love to show you guys my Christmas lights outside. I have a feeling that the camera will actually follow me today.
Yes.
I love Christmas lights.
Watch it not follow because she wants to.
Can you see out the window?
Yes.
I love it.
Oh,
That's
those
awesome.
are fun.
Would it be cool if I left it like that?
Yeah, you can leave them.
Yeah, leave it.
Oh, how did I not think of that?
Yeah.
I forgot to decorate for Christmas one moment.
Oh shit! I have a fucking meme that I meant to send you, Tony, but I'm just going to tell you everybody because everybody's going to relate to this because we're all of the generation of ADHD.
Even the old guy.
The ADHD urge to use parentheses in every sentence because every thought comes with additional bonus content.
Yes.
I'll do it.
That's so true.
I sent an email right before I jumped on, and there were 2 instances of parentheses.
You guys, we should do that trend, the suspect running. Have you seen that?
Yeah, we can. Me and Corinne already talked about it.
Dang it.
It'll have to be walking.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do walking.
Briskly
I don't run
walking.
either.
I'll look like the power walker to make it look like I'm moving fast.
I'll find somewhere that's downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Challenge Fandom Podcast windbreakers.
Yes.
I'm so down.
Karina would say one thing to me. I'll be like, I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore.
I don't want to play anymore.
This is fucking turning violent.
Cam and Leroy's cracked me up.
Oh my God,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
So
it
good.
so much.
It was so good.
I was talking shit because sometimes I like to toot my own horn. But we posted that Money Monday and I was like, I don't know why. It just, they always do so good. They're just, they
So
drive
satisfying.
content.
You just toss that hair, Rick.
Yeah.
Toss.
So like, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, good job, Rick. 1 out of every 12 games you make is actually good.
It's not you, it's just the algorithm.
I think they're all good, okay?
They're all fabulous.
I would believe you if for the last 6 months you weren't saying all your ideas are stupid.
We have it on recording.
Yeah. Roll the tapes.
What?
No, we just said we're not going to make her edit all weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's no special edits this week.
All right. So, does anybody have any idea on what's happening next week as far as with this episode?
No.
I don't know what's happening at all.
It's Malcolm's birthday Monday. That's what I.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Malcolm.
Happy birthday.
This is birthday weekend.
It was Kyle's 2 days ago.
This is the most annoying, frustrating situation I think I've ever been part of since we've started this podcast. I'm sorry. Since I have been a fan of the challenge, this is the most frustrating, annoying thing that has happened. Because, just to make a long story really, really short, it's been back and forth on whether or not episode 17 is actually airing next week. And all the guides were saying it wasn't, and that this All Stars 5 sneak peek was going to be airing, all this stuff. And then so then we post that, right? To let everybody know, hey, blah, blah, blah. Now all the guides are changing, and now they're not saying All Stars 5 sneak peek. Now they're saying season 40, episode 17. So I don't fucking know what's happening next Wednesday. I'm just going to turn on MTV at 8 o'clock and see what the fuck they're showing us.
We're just going to see what happens.
It's going to be a surprise for us all.
I'm not actually mad about this at all. It's like the 90s. I grew up with this. Who knows? It could be a rerun. It could be a good thing. I don't know. It just says the challenge.
Also, like the 90s, the TV guide, whatever it says, could also be wrong.
It could be.
Whose cat?
It would be the first time in a really long time.
I can tell you it's not our cat.
I was like, whose is it?
They just won't stop. What'd you say about your cat?
You can't say that.
We missed it.
I heard it.
Oh my God, you can't
I don't
say
know if
that.
I want
And
to know.
Tony caught it. Oh my God. That was bad. He said, well, we know it's not our cat.
That was me not that long ago.
It was too soon. Too soon, Rick.
It was too soon. It was too soon. Mine's not too soon, though. I can give you a funny one, too.
You killing more animals? Why am I not surprised?
No, I didn't.
Guys, we should have background checked everybody before we did this thing.
She does have a skull behind her.
I do.
I mean, I do too, but let's focus on Katie.
Mine's bejeweled. See what I did there?
Mine's just jet black.
What's your animal story?
Well, it's not an animal story.
Okay, what's your story?
Who's the person you killed?
It was a morbid joke.
You killed the person that's now bejeweled on your shelf.
Well, no, but the person I'm going to talk about is dead, so The other day, we're at my family dinner. Preface, both of my grandmas are dead. They're gone. They are no longer with us earthside. And Gary's family always calls me when he just doesn't answer his phone because he never answers his phone.
Okay.
So we're at dinner and I see his grandma's calling me. And I'm like, Gary, your grandma's calling me. And he goes, my grandma? I said, well, unless mine are calling from the other side, I don't think it's them.
That'd be one hell of a phone bill.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine the fucking fees you would get for out of area?
I know. I'd be roaming something.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Really quick, we can't move on into the episode without giving a happy birthday wish to the motherfucking queen. Katie and I dressed up for it.
I wouldn't know anything about that from you two.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
What's that got to do with the challenge?
Because Travis and Jason love the challenge.
And you are a Travis fan, so shut your dirty pirate hooker mouth.
So you therefore should be a fan.
It's a big circle. It's a big circle.
I did know. I have girls.
Did you? But did you?
Hmm?
I found out online.
I'm glad when everybody was talking, nobody could hear what I said to Josh.
Yeah, I didn't even hear you. And I'm sitting right next to you.
I may or may not have followed a Will Ferrell page. And so I was like, Josh, you shut that dirty pirate hooker mouth of yours.
Nice.
Well, back before memes, we used to just yell Will Ferrell quotes at each other all the time. That's what it was.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right. Well, with that being said, shall we get into it?
I'm ready unless anybody else has anything they want to share or talk about. Otherwise,
I had a funny dream to share with you guys because it was challenge related.
You did have a funny dream.
The things, why do our brains do what they do?
I don't know.
I don't
want to talk about the dream that I had about the challenge because you guys would definitely be wondering why the fuck my brain was anywhere.
Why was it anywhere? You can't just leave us like that.
No. Nope, you go.
I'll tell mine last.
No, I'm not telling mine.
I'm joking. I didn't have one. You've had multiple already.
I will tell my favorite one last, but you guys go ahead.
Just got them written down in order.
Let me get my notepad.
You'll understand when I tell it.
I had the randomest dream that we were all going on the challenge, and it was at an airport, and we got paired up with a challenger, and I was wearing open-toed sandals.
Oh no!
And I got paired up with bananas, and Karina looked at me, and she was like, "You better get socks out of your bag right now." And so I got socks out of my bag.
Who's Karina paired with?
I don't remember.
Okay.
You better cover up those long toes.
I know, I had to cover up my toes. I'm like, he wouldn't even give it a chance with me.
Oh my God.
He was like, not today. So
That's
that was
great.
that.
That's
It was
amazing.
very weird, though.
That's
Alexis,
hilarious.
Love that.
your turn to one-up it.
We're not doing that.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, involved noodles and chili.
There's a food challenge.
Does anybody else have any they want to share?
Negative
not
Ghost Rider.
publicly, no.
Tori might listen.
No, my dream has to do with my least favorite challenger, so that's why I know.
Why you gotta call me out like that?
Because we already know, Rick.
All right, so I'll tell mine. I'll share mine. And this actually happened like a couple years ago, but you guys will understand why it was my favorite one. You've heard this one.
It'll be new to me this time, though.
So I had a dream, and this was back when it was just me, Rick, Tony, and Josh. And I had a dream that we were all in a backyard. And for some reason, I knew we were in California, and we were in a backyard just like chilling, right? And then it was like these, the wooden fence backyards, and we had a neighbor, obviously. And then like all of a sudden, this fucking head pops up over the fence and like starts talking to us, and it's Jordan. And so we like start talking, right? Whatever. We end up like going to the beach and kicking it with him. And like I have this whole fucking dream about us just like chilling, kicking it hardcore with Jordan. 2 days later, he finally answered our message and agreed to the interview, and we got to interview him. So
It's meant to be.
It was before the interview.
Maybe somehow your dreams lined up and he was like, oh my God, I had this weird dream about that girl from the Challenge Fandom podcast. We were on the beach. I must message her back.
So I don't really talk about it much, and I don't really want to get into it and be all like weird, but I have weird dreams that some of them end up actually happening, and there's been like good ones and there's been really bad ones. But it's weird.
Okay, we have to get off this subject because I'm just high enough to start talking about like, what do you guys think deja vu really is?
We can't do this. I'll spiral way too far with you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't start talking about like my dreams and all my experiences because I'll spiral through them.
No, the Matrix was glitching today, so
Good thing we're skipping mine.
Look, my buddy had a really good line because I was over at his house when I was early 20s and I ended up getting a little too fucked up and passed out. Well, the next morning, it's me, him, and his girlfriend, and we're all sitting there bullshitting. And she's like, she looks over at him. She's like, oh my God, I got to tell you about the dream I had. And he's like, you know what? How about we make a new rule? We don't tell each other about dreams because someone's always like doing something weird and out there. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And it's a fucking dream.
That's great.
Yeah, we all have them. It's like posting pictures on Thanksgiving. We all know what we're having, okay? We're having dreams.
Or like people who post when it's raining.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've done that.
I do it all the time, but
Sometimes it's like really raining hard though.
Yeah.
It's like the fireworks on 4th of July.
Or you all of a sudden get the new iPhone at the time and it's got slow motion. You're like, I wonder what raindrops look like in slow motion. I got to see this. Everybody should.
To. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know these are the lyrics to the Green Day song? Because I'm going to post them for you.
Oh, my God. Oh, being a millennial.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, let me press all these magic buttons and... Hey,
here we are.
Whoa.
Sorry. I was,
I mean, do your thing. Do your dance. Hey, guys. Welcome to the Challenge Fandom Podcast. We're back to break down season 40, episode 16, Must Win Era. If you don't win, you die. It's just like Squid Games, except nobody dies. You just get eliminated.
It's just like Squid Games.
But it's not.
Different.
But it's not anything like Squid Games.
It's The Challenge on MTV.
Not to be confused with Squid Games, The Challenge, which is different.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Totally different things.
Yeah. But hey, my name's Rick. This is my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes. We got Katie, Bad Blood Pahura, Alexis, Tex Rawson, Tony, Stats, and Info-Lance back from his sabbatical of living dad life, and Josh motherfucking Chambers.
Woo. Full house tonight.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Every place you go. I don't know the rest of the words, but Full House was the jam. Anyways, guys, we're getting real close to the final.
Real.
So close.
We're danger close.
So close that TJ started to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
So close we don't even know when it's airing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a surprise. It's like being in the 90s.
So close yet so far away.
Just
You know what? Hey, we said we missed the old challenge. You know, here we are.
Yeah.
This is like when Rick said he liked to be continued stuff.
You know what? And actually,
What?
I want to. I'm
I
sorry.
do.
That reminded me of something. Before we actually get into the breakdown, something you said in the intro that I didn't get to touch on that I wanted to touch on. You said, stop it.
She wants to touch on you.
She wants to touch it.
I got it. I got that.
Oh, I'm 13. Let's go. I'll catch that shit every time.
Anyway.
So what do you want to touch on?
Touch on the coochie tunnels.
Somebody's getting moist.
No, not again.
Okay, so in the intro, you
I
had said like, you know, brought up like, oh, the 90s and the old school, and you never knew if it was going to be a new episode or a rerun or whatever. I don't know if you guys noticed, but for some reason on this episode, they were running reruns of the season before it. Like last episode was on before the new episode. And that's never fucking happened before. Like we turned it on 2 minutes before, you know, like a minute or two before it started.
That used to happen.
It
Way
used
back
to,
in the day.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
But like this season, it's always been like catfish or whatever fucking dumb shit that they have on.
Ridiculousness.
Yeah, exactly. And so
That's a good point.
I thought that was interesting that they ran reruns before this episode. And I wondered why this episode, like, it's just weird. There's a lot of weird shit going on at MTV.
Like leaving Canada.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. Also, quick message to our Canadian listeners. I'm going to have a Facebook group linked down in the description on Spotify,
Go
Apple,
check it out.
everywhere. Go check it out. There's a
check
group
it out.
there. Go check it out.
You'll love us if you're in Canada.
Go join the group. Once you get admitted into the group, you will see why I'm saying this. And if you need any more instruction, if this is not direct enough for you,
Message
then
us.
please just message us on Instagram. But this is for our Canadian users that are losing MTV before the final even airs.
Potentially.
We're not going to leave you guys
Yeah.
hanging. So
Why?
Because you
go
know
check
what?
the group.
We're just not the challenge podcast. We're the challenge fandom podcast.
Yeah.
We're here for the fans.
We're here for the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't we have a button that says something about us being the best podcast or something?
May the Challenge Fandom podcast continue to be absolutely bananas.
That's
There
not
we go.
it, but I don't want to get a cease and
It's
desist.
okay.
So, yeah.
I
yeah.
accept.
Make sure you guys go check that link out and go join that group, and it will be very useful to you.
Absolutely.
Other than that, yeah.
So let's start this off how we always do. What are you guys giving this episode grade wise? I have a different feeling than I did last week, so I'm going to let somebody else go off.
Here's my opening question though. Are we grading it straight up, or are we grading it like based on a curve?
I think you have to do it on a curve based on how much his cast is left.
I don't think that's the curve she was asking about, but
What curve are you talking about, Josh? Are you still stuck in the coochie tunnels?
I am apparently.
Dear God. Okay. Am I going first?
Please, I'm waiting for you to explain what
sorry.
your caveat is.
No, I was just curious. Like, I guess if I was to grade this episode straight up, honestly, it wasn't that great of an episode. The daily was, I'm sure, fucking awesome for them, but it wasn't fun to watch. The elimination was they're one of my favorite types of elimination, where it's got, strength, endurance, strategy, all of this. But again, just not very exciting to watch. And then like nothing else happened. There was no chamber. There was no, it was kind of a bleh episode. But if I'm grading it on like a curve, I'd say I'd have to give it maybe a B.
Okay.
B minus, like a lower B, just based on like the fact that it was very entertaining. I laughed my ass off literally the whole episode. So
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Tony?
I would say for like straight up entertainment, B minus. For importance, probably an A. That makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
that's true. That's a good point.
What do you say, Alexis?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to go with B minus to start with, but it always cracks me up because that's what I always say. It's either like B plus or B minus, but I can never like get higher or lower than that. So I'm going with B minus.
Okay. Real quick, your audio or your connection cut out a little bit, and you sounded like Stephen Hawking is taking everything in me not to laugh. So I just wanted to put that out there.
That is so accurate.
You sounded like Stephen Hawking. Oh no.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
I
That
hope
was
that
hilarious.
comes across in the edit. I really do.
That
It
was
probably
hilarious.
won't, but
I heard it.
all right. So a B minus is what you were saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's zoomed in.
It's because the hand movement.
It's like Stephen Hawking.
Josh, what are you giving this episode?
So I have an emotional scale on this one because our connection with the winner of the elimination. So, but with that all being said, with everything that was connected with this episode, all the funniness throughout the entire thing, I give it a B plus.
I like it. Kitty, what are you thinking?
I'm going straight B. Not a plus, not a minus. I liked the funniness, the entertainment, all the one-liners, just all of like the shit going on in the background at all moments. And I loved the storyline with Derek this episode. But basically everything Karina said, like the daily was so cool and probably was like awesome to do and watch in person, but it just was like meh on TV. And I feel bad even saying that. But, and I don't know, I didn't hate the elimination, but I also wasn't like super drawn into what they were actually doing. Like I felt like if they just showed the elimination and didn't have any interviews, it would have been so boring. I like would have been on my phone. And
So I kind of agree with all of you guys to a degree, but I'm going to give it a B minus on a curve, and that's really, and I'm I feel like I'm being so liberal with that score because, and I'm doing this really because of the conversation that Derek had throughout the later half of the episode. Because it's such an important discussion to have, and I'm glad they're bringing awareness to it. So this is actually bringing it up like a 1 level grade,
right?
And the reason I'm saying that is because to me, there's 4 main parts of the show, right? There's the intro portion, the daily, the deliberation, house drama shit, and then the elimination.
Right.
All 4 of those, or 3 out of the 4 of those, were boring as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like, I'm sorry, like, and Josh, I see your face, but the intro, literally, we have 2 notes about the whole thing.
The intro was horrible.
The daily, like, yeah, you guys have been waiting years to do this. You could have kept on waiting.
You could.
You're being a little harsh.
As cool as it was for them, as a TV viewer,
it was.
I'm watching someone plug in aux cords and then
swim
a fucking car going into the water.
Yeah.
And
it's not exciting.
Do you think they got them out?
We do. We actually do know the answer on that.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And then while the elimination is a good elimination, it is just boring to watch because it is so long and it's just a repetitive process of moving blocks, and doesn't get really exciting till the last 5 to 10 minutes when they're putting the finishing touches on it.
Exactly.
But is it a good elimination as far as for them and as far as stamina and problem solving skills? Yes.
Yeah, for like things that you need to have for like the challenge, challenge final and stuff. It's a great elimination.
It just wasn't entertaining at the end of the day to me. So yeah, that's where I'm going with this. With that being said, I'm going to be happy and all chipper as we discuss this all the way through. So let's get into this show, shall we?
Stir it.
Sorry, I felt like I just really Debbie Downered us at the end right there, but
pretty fucking much. I was here, and then Rick put me here.
Well, that's because if you were there, you'd be up on the shelf.
Yeah. That's a good shelf to be a part of.
Fresh start.
Let's try again.
Okay.
We haven't done a fresh start in a long time.
We haven't.
Yeah, it was so fresh. I like the Febreze brothers.
And again.
All right. Anyways, one of the things we always have to bring up is the opening scene where they show the picture and it goes live.
What was this one about? I don't understand. So it was season 15, Gauntlet 3, the final where Easy went out in the final. And the veteran team had to leave him behind. They ended up going through that whole mess and still beat the rookie team to the actual end and got their flag raised first. But because they left Easy, and that was against the rules, they ended up losing and the rookies won by default. So I was just very confused how this fit into the episode at all. Maybe it's foreshadowing something that happens in the final that's coming.
I think it has something to do. I couldn't think about it until after we see what happens next week. And then I'm like, okay, that has the connection to the very beginning.
Exactly. So I'm thinking maybe it's foreshadowing that just because maybe it didn't have much to foreshadow from this episode, you know? So that's the only thing I can come up with for how that fits in.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just running out of fucking ideas. There's nothing really to foreshadow in this one. We pretty much knew what was going on from Daily Jump. And
I'm going to be 100% honest. Like before the Daily Jump, like honestly, I knew who the male winner was. The moment that they posted the fucking clip on Instagram of Jordan doing this and everybody talking about like, holy shit. And just seeing how fast he looked going through that water. Like I knew almost like I was like, oh, okay, so Jordan wins the daily and gets, taken off the board for targets. Like I knew that before the episode even aired, so they kind of killed that.
And then the whole first portion was really about Cory and Cory and Derek.
And it was just silly. Yeah.
He was hilarious though.
Cory. I thought it was funny. And
it was fucking hilarious. I will say that.
focused on him a little bit too much.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't mad about it though, because he was cracking me up.
You got to call my daughters now.
You gotta call them and apologize. Tell them how you sent me in there 3 times.
I'm sorry.
It was cute how she played along with it. Like, you know, it was a cute little moment between them. Although I will say, and honestly, this is probably on production. I don't know that, and I don't know. Maybe Bananas made this confessional about this specific moment, or maybe he made it about a different moment in production, just put it here. But it just didn't feel like it fit because clearly Cory was being like very jokey and like lighthearted. He wasn't at all being serious. And I think everybody in the area knew that, you know what I mean? Like anybody standing there or anybody watching it. So the confessional from Bananas just didn't add up for me in this moment.
And to me, honestly, this is one of Cory's better seasons when it comes to his social gameplay.
Heck yeah.
Sarah and I both were talking about how it's probably one of our favorite seasons for Cory.
Yeah.
Like, usually he's so messy with his gameplay, you know?
I mean, spoiler alert, but, you know, like, I was fucking gutted on this one because, one, I want both of those guys in there. There's someone else I would have rather see go home. But, you know, it was just like, fuck. It was a no-win situation for me because I want both of those guys in the final.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. From the beginning, I said I wanted Cory to be the winner.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but then you couldn't really be mad about it because...
Yeah.
It was such a touching moment for Derek,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and just seeing everything like that he's battled and overcome in the last, like, you know, since his return on All Stars 2 is just, it was not, it's honestly, and that's the thing, like, I know everybody's like, oh, Derek's floating and skating and whatever other stupid word they want to use. But honestly, in my opinion, like, I was happy to see him have a nice, easy season and not have to fucking fight for his goddamn life every single time he turned around, like he always has his entire challenge career. And for once, he's had a season where he's been able to just kind of kick back, compete. He's been doing well. It's not like he's been coming in last, you know what I mean? And just like he's been having fun and making friends and just having a good experience. And I think that that's done wonders for him. And I think that it really showed in this episode. So I don't know. Screw all the haters.
What's frustrating too is like in past seasons that Derek has played, the cast has discredited him and the cast has undersold his abilities or not given him the chance to prove himself. And now when you've got the entire cast on board of saying how much of a badass he is, you've got the fans that are now saying, well, he's not as good as everyone says he is, blah, blah, blah. So it's like a complete shift and neither one was right when they said it.
In their respective times.
Yeah.
This is my big thing on it is one, he's won dailies. And not only has he won dailies, he beat Jordan in a daily that Jordan was meant for Jordan to win.
Yeah.
Secondly,
and hold on, I gotta put a pin in. Don't forget, he would have won the one where he put the balls in. I bet you he beat Jordan if Bananas didn't put the balls in Jordan's thing.
Oh,
maybe.
I mean, that's a good possibility.
Anyways, sorry, keep going.
And then secondly, like the real question is take the bias out of it. Because if it was CT and he played the same exact game that Derek did this season, people wouldn't be saying he's floating. Oh, he played a great season.
Maybe like,
socials on point. Never had to even worry about going in. Because if you remember, that's how CT won Rivals 2.
Literally how he won was flirting with all the girls in the house and having all the girls on his side. That's what got him in trouble with DM that season because he was flirting with fucking everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's because the girls were controlling the men's fate and he kept himself safe. They didn't see, well, did they see? No, they didn't see an elimination that season, him and Wes.
No, and Derek would have done really good that season if he would have had a better connection with the other girls in that house. But because he was newer, quote unquote, you know what I mean?
But I guarantee you, if I put up on our like Instagram stories and I'm like, hey, CT and Wes never once went into an elimination on Rivals 2. Does that now negate CT's first win and Wes's second win? Like 90% of the people who vote are going to say no, it doesn't negate.
Higher than that.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's my thing. That's why I hate the argument.
It's just double standard.
They didn't earn it. They didn't, What the fuck?
Did they make it to the end? Then they earned it.
Like I said last week, they won every aspect of the challenge that season, including the social part.
Well, and and I had this discussion with Chris from the Caged In podcast. He was on here with us a couple weeks ago, but I had this discussion with him in like the comments on Instagram. Is that's all fine and dandy to like expect everybody to go into an elimination when the format of the game inspires that, right? Or pushes towards that. But the format for this season literally inspired social gameplay. It's what it was built for, was to have good social play. Like it wasn't built to be focused on the competitive nature. It was built to be focused on how well can you make friends with the opposite sex. You know what I mean? So obviously, I have to say this because somebody will say it. Obviously, competition matters, and I'm not saying that it doesn't, but the format of the voting and everything was very much centered around having a very good social game with the opposite sex. And so I don't know. I don't see a problem with anybody this season not having to go into elimination. They played the game that was given to them.
Well, we've said it and we've had this discussion. What's a better season? Going into elimination 5 times and winning and then making it to the final? Or not having to go into elimination once, winning a couple dailies, and then going into the final?
Yeah.
Save your body for that final.
To me, it's never seen elimination because that means your game was so elite that people didn't even want to throw you in. And that's why, to me, which it seems like Jordan's making the final because we're down to 4 men now.
Yeah, I don't think there's any more eliminations. I think this next female one is the last elimination.
To me, if Jordan, which looks like he's going to make the final and ends up winning this thing, this might be his best season ever. Didn't see it once.
Especially with his status in the game. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
With 19 other guys that are vets or are like top of the line athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Dirty 30 and season 40. 2 of his best.
I mean, yeah.
If it happens, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And the reason we're talking about all this instead of the daily, which TJ said they've been waiting years to do, is because there's not really a lot to talk about. I'll break it down real quick. There's a car that's set up on the side of a cliff. You have to pluck some aux cables in. And when you get 4 boxes to light up, the car goes off the cliff, but you're hooked up to a little crane. And then they lower you down in the water and you have to swim 500 meters.
Guys, do you know how long 500 meters is?
It's far.
It's 100 meters 5 times.
Yeah, it is.
How long is it in miles?
In miles, it was like 0.3 something.
It's
but
a little
I
over
tried.
a quarter, yeah.
I tried to do a math, and it said it's about 4.5 football fields.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a fucking long swim.
It's a long swim.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I just want to tell you how excited I was for this daily because I don't care what anybody says. I could have done this daily and I could have done it well. I would not have lost this daily.
There you go.
I used to be able to set up stuff. I'm good. I could have done this.
You gonna swim that?
I was a first class swimmer in the Navy. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm just going to say this. The concept of this daily is really good. The viewability of it is very low.
Yeah.
It's just not built for an audience. It's like watching them drift around and trying to figure out a math problem. Like,
Right.
You think that's why they had to throw in the Burger King and the fact that the car was inspired by flame-broiled burgers?
You rule.
I was like, where did they find all these hot rods in fucking in Vietnam? Whole bunch of Chevy Cavaliers with the fucking top chopped off.
Speaking of which, so really quick, when we saw this, I instantly became very concerned because watching the preview of the daily, I was like, oh, it's got to be on like a pulley system or there's a crane there to pull the cars out of the water, right? And then we get to watching it and there's nothing attached to these fucking cars. They're just going into the water. And you can tell that they're at one point towards the end, you can tell there are multiple cars in the water. And so I was like, there's no motherfucking way that we just dropped 10 old rusted fucking cars into the goddamn water of whatever this lake or reservoir is or whatever it is. and just dipped out and was like, peace, we're done. Like, there's no way, right?
Yeah.
My little heart could not handle that. So I did message somebody from the show, and they did confirm that, in fact, there were divers there that in between shots, they were going under and hooking the wires up, and they were pulling the cars out of the water with the crane. And after the cast left, they were still like pulling cars out. So like, that's why it looked like there were multiple cars, because it wasn't like they were stopping to take one out in between each turn. You know what I mean? So,
ooh, what if you like jumped and hit a car underwater?
that was my other thing, because when Cory jumps, when her car goes in, the end of it is still sticking up out of the water, and she like jumps and lands right next to it. And I get on camera, you know, it looks a lot closer than it probably was. Her being there, she probably looked down and knew she had plenty of room to drop. So she, you know, released her thing and fell. But I would have been fucking scared of, you know, when you go down under the water, like how deep is that? And how far down am I going compared to where the cars are landing? Yep. Like, I'd be, that's scary. That's scary.
I mean, I wrote in my notes, one of the few notes that I wrote was that I pity whoever's job it was to fish all the car parts out, because I immediately went into dad mode and I was like, I'm not cleaning that up.
Yeah. No, not me.
So you think there were 10 cars?
Yes.
Yes, there were 10 cars.
There was a car for each person.
They were probably old beaters.
All the money they wasted or they saved on like the nail thing, and like they had to use it to buy all these fucking cars.
To be fair, the cars more than likely were purchased by Burger King because they sponsored the daily. That's why the challenge wanted a sponsor for the daily, for the permits, for the cars, for the crane rental, for the everything that they had to do to make this happen. And that's probably why it took them so long, is being able to find a place, first of all, that would allow them to drop 10 cars in the water. And apparently Vietnam is that place that'll allow you to do that. And number two, finding a sponsor to be able to, you know, afford to run it. So that's, by the way, that's all assumption. Everything I just said is assumption, but it makes logical sense to me. So what did I say?
Tony.
Oh, I missed what Tony said. My bad.
You said fuck it, and he said it's pronounced
Phuket.
Yeah, which is so there you go. Which is a town.
Yes.
And is it Vietnam or Thailand? Thailand. Yeah. So, anyways, look. The coolest part or the most interesting part was watching these guys swim and seeing the overhead shots, so you know who's actually a good swimmer and who isn't. And Jordan fucking smoked it.
Although I will say, the first thing I said to Rick is I was like, I just want to see Jordan in the water with Emily from Australia or whatever. Not because I think that he would beat her at all. I still think she would, but just so I can see, like, but just so I could see what his actual, because he looked like he was flying through that water.
Could we also add Wes and Tyler into that too?
I mean, we could, but
I mean, look, she's a true Olympic swimmer.
She's still gonna smoke them all, but
and he's a triathlete.
It wouldn't be close between any of them, especially that shot we saw of her in that one competition. Oh
my god, that was
she
crazy.
Was fucking going through that shit like it. I've never seen anything like it, and I consider myself a decent swimmer. And I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
With that being said, Jordan did really good, and he would have outswam almost everyone. I would have liked to see Wes in this with Jordan.
Yeah.
To kind of get a litmus test of where they're both at.
Agreed. Yeah. I would have liked to see somebody else. I don't know, because honestly, the way everybody was talking, Cory is maybe not as fast as Jordan, but was also an incredibly fast swimmer. Like, he got out of the water and Bananas called him Michael Phelps, and you could see he had speed in that water, although he didn't, you know, do too well on the actual puzzle part. But
Cory, though,
I love him.
Derek, though,
man, my heart.
Poor Derek.
They had a music change and everything for Derek.
What he said though about, I think I'm gonna do really good on this because I used to hotwire cars.
And they said, just kidding. I was like, no, the fuck you're not. Why do I feel like you're not kidding? Like, I believe that you did do that, Derek.
It's because he's from New Mexico is why you believe that.
But honestly, no.
No offense to our New Mexico listeners. Sorry, we're in Nevada. It's the same here.
He actually, Derek actually pointed something out that I actually had never realized, is that we have never had a gay man win an individual season, like not, you know, like on a team or whatever. And I thought that was interesting because I've never realized that, like that. It's just I've never realized it. So I started thinking, again, kind of going back to Derek's journey and everything that he's been on since, everything he's had to endure and overcome since his return on All Stars 2. Like, how cool would it be for him to be the first gay man to like go to the final? Let's say he goes to the final and he fucking beats Bananas, beats Jordan, beats, who else is there? Kyland. It comes in first place, becomes the first, gay man to win an individual season. Like after, you know what I mean? It would just be like the perfect, like cherry on top of this season for Derek. It would be just the perfect situation for him. I don't know. That was just my little daydream when he was talking about it.
It's such a great story because especially when you look at his history outside of Battle of the Seasons, he was almost always targeted in the first round.
Yeah.
And just had really bad luck in eliminations. Got paired up against Brandon in Cutthroat in a physical where Brandon's just got him a little bit outclassed. So to see him make it this far and then obviously get this win in this episode to guarantee his spot in it, it's really cool to see, and it's a true underdog story. But the thing is Derek shouldn't ever be an underdog. Dude's fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, I want to talk about Cara for a couple reasons.
Yes.
One, because she's got my line of the night with shit tits.
Fire emoji, fire emoji, because that shit was amazing, and I am going to start using that now.
Yeah, I like just random pairings of words. That works well, like shirt cocking it and shit tits. I'm just a fan of all of those.
Yes.
So
I love it. No, what did you guys think about not only Cara's performance? First of all, it was Cara, in my opinion. But what did you guys think about Cara's performance? And then what did you think about Rachel's confessional about Cara's performance?
I'll let someone else go first.
I'll go. Okay, Tony, you go. Say something nice first.
About what? Because it's not going to. Oh, it's not nice about Rachel. I just like. It was almost as if Rachel was under the impression that this was the Olympics, and that we had to take it incredibly seriously. And also, I'm pretty sure Cara was doing the best that Cara could out there. And like any of us, it's going to be self-deprecating because otherwise it's really uncomfortable if you're not good at something when everybody else is better at you than that thing and you're supposed to be one of the best at all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
As for her performance, that was a long swim. That was a long time to get across 4.5 football fields.
She said,
yeah.
I would have been swimming the exact same way. I even said when she turned around and started kicking backwards, that's what I would have done. And Sam was like, that's stupid. I'm not a super strong swimmer.
And she's done it before, too.
Yeah, I would have done that.
Using different muscles. Take a rest, turn back over.
She drove me nuts, guys.
I'm sure, like with Josh going through naval training, he'll agree when they teach you swimming, it's about staying above the water, not how fast you go, right?
Yeah.
So if you need to, you flip over, you do what you can. And I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Swimming long distances is one of the hardest fucking exercises to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then you start to panic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, and I would have done the same thing. I'm a fairly strong swimmer, but at a certain point, you get tired, your arms and shoulders get sore, and doing like the fucking angel float on your back, is the best way to do it. You get it done.
Yeah.
I get Rachel saying that because Rachel's uber competitive, but at the same time, like Tony said, Cara did her best.
But guys, I'm going to say something and her people are going to come for me and it's fine.
Yeah.
She has been on this show for how long?
Yeah, that's
She
true.
lives in Florida. She has access to the ocean. Okay, well now still.
Yeah, she could have gone to a pool.
Leroy just learned to swim.
Why have we not been training in swimming?
Not everyone was raised in a pool, okay, Katie?
I know, but now
I fucking died at that shit. I was like, girl, no. Just no.
The only part I'm going to cut down in your argument, Katie, is I would not swim anywhere in Florida.
No, I wouldn't either. But no, I do agree. She's had plenty of time.
There's pools.
I've swam in Florida.
I've swam in Florida too.
There's gators in those pools.
No, they're not.
Yeah, there are.
Since not all of them, it's fine.
Did you say beers?
I said
Alligators.
gators.
Alligators.
Oh, alligators. I was like, who cares about beers?
Listen,
It was almost the same.
Leroy and Nelson have both went from not swimming to swimming.
Leroy recently learned how to swim.
Yay!
Well,
See?
good. He needs to teach his children.
Yeah, and they can all enhance their capabilities. Look at what she did from even the flashback she had from her first season to now, just athletically. This is my argument. So
I'm not discounting your argument. I agree that much like anybody who goes on Survivor should know to make fire. Anybody who goes on or also know how to swim. Anybody who goes on the challenge should also know how to swim and do basic math.
Yeah, and here's my thing is like, are you going to probably swim 500 meters in the final? Probably not.
you don't know though.
You could.
It could, but if you look at the odds, you're more likely going to run 25 miles. You know what I mean? And what's Cara
Well,
really
it's
good
great
at?
Conditioning.
Yeah, Cara's great at running 25 fucking miles.
All right, let me play devil's advocate here. So you're telling me that people need to train and eat or foods from other countries just to be able to put them down?
Yes. It's called being cultured, Josh.
Okay. And still people can't do it that have been on the challenge for 10 plus years.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they should still train.
They need to go out and eat some balls.
Here's my thing, though. Like, here's my real argument about it: is I would be 100% on board if Cara couldn't fucking swim, but she can swim.
And
she
she's
just
gotten
can't
better.
swim long distances at speed. You know what I mean? And for the first 100 meters or so, she was doing fine. Once she got past that, she had to switch it up, and it was hurting her a little bit. But it's no different than if we would be sitting here and giving shit to Anissa because she couldn't full out sprint something that everybody else could do.
Yeah, all right. I mean, it's fair.
It's fair.
Yeah, like we wouldn't talk shit about Anissa for doing that. And I feel like we're kind of going at Cara for something that she's doing. She's just not doing it as fast as everybody else.
Well, we're still being nicer about it than Rachel was.
Yes, true. Yeah.
I was like, damn.
I'll be honest, the thing that bugged me the most about the whole Cara like segment was her comments about it, to be honest, where she was
Yes. I think that's probably why I am so irritated about it.
she says, I'm just an average swimmer in a sea of Michael Phelps. And she said that everyone left is a quote unquote wicked good swimmer. And I'm like, baby girl, no, they're not. What are you talking about? Like half the people here fucking suck in the water. What are you talking about? Like,
look, I'm gonna be honest.
You'd be all right, you know?
Some people's form in the freestyle wasn't that good.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
gonna put that
no.
out there.
It wasn't.
They look like they were going spastic with their legs, and it's like that's not how you swim well.
No.
I also like that none of them know any swimmers other than Michael Phelps because they mentioned Michael Phelps like 12 times.
Literally.
Yeah, they could have been like, oh, he's like, you know, fucking Greg Louganis. No, wait, that's a diver. I only know Michael Phelps too. Bada bing, bada boom.
I don't
So-
know either.
But
The next part is actually my line of the night.
oh, okay.
And it is when Bananas is going, and as he's about to go off the cliff, he says, Tej, if this is the last time we see each other, tell your mother I love her.
Do you think TJ's mom likes bananas?
No, I don't think she does. I mean, I'm not going to say yes or no on behalf of her, but I am going to say that I just don't think she does.
We'll say a strong probably not.
Who knows? Maybe she loves him.
And maybe she does. And I'm
It's
not
true.
saying that she doesn't like him. I know that, like, if it comes, like, the whole CT Bananas thing, I know that I personally know she has a preference, and I know what her preference is.
It ain't fruit.
We won't name it on the podcast, but we already have kind of.
I won't say it on the podcast, but it's not bananas. But I think it's funny that like he always makes like these jokes, and the funniest part to me is that I know for a fact that TJ's mom watches every single episode. Like TJ is, however old he is now, I don't want to guess, and I'm not exactly sure. So, and he just had his birthday, and he's had, 20 plus years of success in the challenge, and then all his BMX success and all this stuff. And that woman is still, like, to this day, so freaking proud of TJ. Like, her and I are friends on Facebook. And every little tiny thing that he does, she posts and she's like, TJ's going here. TJ's getting interviewed here. Like, I'm so proud. Like, she is so fucking proud of that man. And it is so adorable to watch. So she watches every episode of the challenge. She doesn't miss it ever. And so I know that she saw this, and I'm going to have to reach out and ask her what she thought about it. But I thought it was funny, and it is my line of the night.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. She is one of my favorite people that interacts with us online. She's a real sweetheart. So if you're hearing this, shout out to you.
We love you.
I did like what Bananas brought up, though, which is he noticed real quick that Kyland was struggling a little bit with that swimming. And, he called it out. He's like, there's some chinks in that armor. You know what I mean?
Ooh, Kyland has a weakness.
Did you guys see that Kyland did like a live reaction of Bananas talking about him? He posted it on his stories, and it was just like this circle with Kyland's face in it, and it was him watching Bananas say, like, I thought his game, like, I thought it was foolproof, and then Tilly got in the water.
Fucking Kyland, I love him so much.
Oh my gosh,
I'm really rooting for him so much right now.
I love Kyland.
Yeah, honestly, now that Cory is gone, Kyland's my next hopeful to win, but
yeah, there's who I think is going to win and who I want to win.
Right.
And I think we'll get into that a little bit later after we get through the elimination. But the other thing that I really wanted to talk about was obviously TJ announces who the winners are. It's Tori and Jordan.
Yeah.
And this is like Tori's third or fourth individual.
I believe this is her
I think it's the
fourth.
fourth.
This is her fourth individual win. I believe it's Jordan's too.
She's
or Jordan's third individual.
Smoking this season.
Yeah.
Just absolutely killing it. So that's going to lead me into another question. But what did you think about Rachel's confession on this one?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Grape jelly.
Yeah. Grape jelly.
Stay grape jelly.
Well, look, they're friends, and so I think it's said with a little bit of jest and humor, but yeah, it's grape jelly. She wants.
Oh, it's super grape jelly.
Yeah, it's grape jelly.
Look, Tori won again.
Do better.
And the fact Tori won again is annoying. Okay, well, do better.
I think it just says a lot when you have Rachel Robinson, fucking Cara Maria. You have Jenny West.
Yeah.
And then, Tori, and she is winning all of these dailies. Like, where does she, I can't wait to see how the rest of her career plays out and where she ends up, actually lining up, because we have a lot of greats out there that we say, they're the great, but they didn't play with other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, so seeing her compete against all these people and as well as she's doing, I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I was just say, that's the thing too, is so often when we've been talking about Mount Rushmore and greatest ever play, as far as rookies go or anything else, any of those hypotheticals, we've always said that we haven't seen them play side by side.
Yeah.
And now we're getting that opportunity of season 40 is a way for us to see how everybody stacks up against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting. It's because it's not going the way I thought it was going to. I would have thought it would have gone on paper. You know what I mean? It's gone a totally different way. The losers of this daily end up being Cara and Cory. So
Cara and Derek.
I'm sorry, Cara and Derek.
That's the third time he said that. He keeps saying that every time we talk about it. He's like, Cara and Cory. I'm like, no.
It's because they're like this. They're each other's number ones. It's Team CC. Anyways, yeah. So Cara and Derek lose.
I was going to punch you if you said Cory again.
You see what the violence I have to put up with? It's not a joke.
After she said your ideas were stupid.
At least it's not the level of Jenny's violence.
Oh,
Okay.
geez.
Bro.
Yeah.
I have a note about that.
She's made a couple of comments this season.
I know. Sorry. I do too.
Somebody needs to check on her. Like, make sure everything's okay because, girl, are you good? Like,
Just intrusive thoughts. We all have them.
They've edited a couple incriminating quotes from her this season.
Yes.
Like,
literally.
Yeah, she better never murder anyone because there's fucking
Yeah.
there's a lot of evidence there. So obviously with Jordan being a target, winning, he's automatically out. Derek losing, he's automatically in. No reason to have a chamber. So Cory, Derek is the elimination. We're
Yep.
gonna
But
get.
Josh, you can stay
Josh can stay.
because he's a chamber.
Oh, got it.
I
I was
was-
confused.
I was going with Wu-Tang 36 chambers, but whatever.
It's spelled with an S.
That's because there's more of you.
what's happening?
Wow, going off the rails tonight, guys. No, I'm joking. What did you guys think of? I just want to ask you this: the whole fucking Burger King scene.
Dude,
I love Burger King,
me too.
Why was it served in the club, though?
but why?
Yeah, like we got to get dressed up to go to Burger King.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I'd have been pissed. Serve it at the house.
I have a legitimate question for all of you.
Yeah.
Is Burger King good in the States?
No.
Because it's
Yes.
shit here.
There's shit
I mean,
everywhere.
it's still
Like-
shit. I still love it.
If they would have said, you win Burger King, I would say no thank you. That's what happens. That's what when people go
Oh,
to
their fries are so good.
No.
With the fry sauce? Yes, they are. Oh my goodness.
No, bro.
Woo.
I'm going to lose Canadian citizenship on this one, but if somebody comes to my office and says, hey, I'm running to Tim Hortons, do you want anything? I say no thank you, because their coffee is garbage.
I agree with that.
Bring me some tidbits.
That's different.
Look, the first thing I noticed was Tori grabbing just a plate of a bunch of fries, and I was like, girl,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fucking gross. They
Oh,
have the
they're so
worst
good.
fries.
They have
Oh, they're
two
my
good
favorite.
things.
Really?
They're my favorite. Yeah.
I actually don't really like their fries, but I
Yeah,
did
no.
wonder what else can she eat. They have veggie patties, but they're not good.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
have
no.
two good things. Those little hash brown rounds
Oh,
that
yeah.
they
Those
serve
are,
in the
those are
morning.
good.
Dank.
Oh yeah.
They're croissant witches. Other than
Those are
that,
No,
get out.
I
Yeah.
disagree.
We fucks with Whoppers hard over here.
With cheese, no onions.
Double cheeseburger, plain.
We live kind of by a Burger King, and then when you drive past it, you can smell it in the air.
Ugh.
That's not good. No. Yeah, Charbonneau, man. You can smell those burgers a mile away.
I know, but it's good.
Oh, I love it.
I'm not a fan of BK.
And then if you go inside, it stays on your shirt all night.
Yeah, that's true.
If you have an A&W close to you, go to that instead.
Yes.
I don't have
We
one of
don't.
those.
We have one across town.
Yes, the closest one is Sparks. I gotta go.
Oh, all y'all are a bunch of haters
I know.
tonight.
It's
Gosh.
because Burger King's gross.
You might as well tell me that you like Jemmy when you say you like Burger King.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
That's a low blow.
That's A&W.
I like
That's
Whopper.
aggressive.
I like how everybody just went in on Burger King and then everyone was like, that's too far, Rick.
That's too far.
That's too far.
Across the damn line.
You know what? Next week I'm gonna show up here with my own Burger King fries.
That's offensive to Burger King at this point.
Well, I'm a habitual line stepper.
Everybody go to Sparks and go to A&W Root Beer.
I don't know what a Sparks is.
That's where they live.
I'm not even lying. I'll probably get Burger King for lunch tomorrow.
I'm just
Yeah.
salty because she makes more doing an Ozempic ad than I make in a whole month. So it is what it is.
I thought you said a nose picker ad.
Yeah, she fucking saw that shit.
Oh
Dumb
my
cunt.
gosh.
Stupid. Anyways, I did like that fucking Tori was mowing down those fries. I found that amusing. I found it extremely amusing that they were having heartfelt fucking conversations over
Burger
Whoppers.
King.
Did not see that coming.
That's what happens at 3 a.m.
I understand.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I don't necessarily think it was the BK. I think it was the drinks at the club. But honestly, I did enjoy the Cory and Derek conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
and,
really good.
You know, obviously, this is a conversation where they're in the club, and we're not going to get too deep into the Derek situation yet, but they are talking about their different like motivations for the elimination the next day. And obviously Derek brings up that, you know, he wants to win because it would have been his sister's birthday. And that's just instantly, I was just like, we'll get into that here in a little bit. But what I found interesting is that Cory's motivation, and we actually hear about this a couple of times throughout the episode, is like Cory feels like he's kind of shifted into the realm of, I don't really, and he even really says this, like, I don't really care about the money. I just want that title. I want that respect put on my name. And even in this moment, he's like, I want to be on that list of like the very small list of men who have gone into and won 4 eliminations in a single season. And so it just, for me, like it feels like this Cory this season is, I don't know, like he's motivated by different things, and it made it very hard to see him go home. I really would have loved to see him continue on, but I'm really hoping that he brings this like new energy and this new type of motivation, and less so much about like, oh, I got to get there and win first place for the money, but more that he wants to do it for himself.
Yeah.
And I think that might help push him a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like it's great going and fighting for your kids and your family, but sometimes like you need that I'm doing it for myself thing too. And I feel like Cory is finally getting that piece of it, of like, I just want it to be able to say that I did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to catch a lot of hate for this, but his character arc in his time on the challenge, you know who reminds me the most of? CT.
Ooh, I can see that.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Because he's turned into a nice, respectable man.
It just, that arc, the fact that it's not even about the money anymore, it's about the title.
Yeah.
Like it was for CT. He didn't care about the fucking check. He wanted the trophy.
Yeah.
To me, it rings very much of that. Now, will it go the same direction? Who fucking knows? And more than likely not, because the odds of anyone winning 5 is very small when you look at all the challengers and who's actually done it.
Right.
But that's what it reminds me of. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I like it.
What was it that Jenny said in the club? I can't quite remember, but it caught me off guard. I remember that.
She's gonna cut her fingers off in her sleep.
That's right. Yeah, Jesus.
Rachel, Tori, and Jenny were all like talking. They were all pretty much just sitting around, stroking each other's egos about how great they've all done in this game. And then fucking Jenny comes out of nowhere.
They were being nice though.
And she's like, yeah, maybe I'll just come in when you're sleeping in the middle of the night and break your fingers. And I was like, what the fuck? Where did
then they start joking even further, and they're like, yeah, and then in the daily, she's going to be like, oh, it's going to be something where you needed to use your feet. I should have broke your feet.
Oh my God, she is too much.
I feel like they just don't quite know what to do with Jenny. Like, I think that she's got like a wicked sense of humor in that vein, and it's very dark, and they don't know how to edit it.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
She makes me feel like I'm not alone.
Yeah.
My jokes get kind of dark sometimes. So.
Oh my God.
I mean, same. And I get it, and it's humorous, but it's also one of those that makes certain people really uncomfortable, which makes it even more amusing.
Exactly.
One thing that I found interesting is seeing Banana really kind of dive into the elder statesman toast of like, oh, you're going to get to that final and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And I know he was doing it to try to psych Kyland out. He admits it too, but it's just interesting to see him take that elder statesman kind of perspective and conversation in this. Do you think it's going to have any effect on Kyland?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
He's watched the show. He knows what's in the final.
Yeah.
He knows what's coming.
Yeah.
He's also smarter than that.
Exactly. Kyland's not that guy to get like psyched out by someone like Bananas being like, oh, like, and that's the thing is that Kyland's a fan of the show. So like, you're not talking to somebody who's never seen what a final looks like. And I know it's very different watching it on TV versus like actually being there and going through it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like just Kyland literally last episode just had a conversation with Cory about how he wants Jordan and Bananas there because he wants the hardest, most difficult like competition he can get so that if he wins, he knows it's because he's the fucking best. Like you're not going to psych Goku out by fucking saying that it's scary. Like that's just going to excite him more, honestly.
No.
Like, what are you doing?
That was my line. That was my quote last week and probably the season of I want to go against the best, but they have to get themselves there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. I agree with you, and thank you for choosing the Goku reference. It makes me love you more every time. But it truly is that. It's like, I think the idea of someone being better than him or pushing him to be better is what's truly exciting to him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it makes him want to go after it even more. You know, so no, I don't think Bananas is going to have any effect on him either, honestly.
No.
So and he talks about, you know, part of what Bananas brings up is like, you know, all of a sudden you get in there and there's an elimination because they never take 4 guys all the way to the end and all of this.
Uh-huh.
So I want to ask you guys, do you think we're going to get one of those eliminations or purges in the final this year?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that I think they might not is I don't know if production is willing to risk losing Bananas first.
Oh, that's a good
yeah.
point. That's a fair point.
I mean, they almost lost him in USA 2 at that one.
That's what I'm
point.
thinking.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I fucking hate it when they do those elimination purges.
I don't
just
like
let
it.
them.
Oh, yeah.
Just let all 4 run it.
Let
I
all
don't
4
fucking
run.
care.
You earn your chance to run in the final.
Yeah.
See where you place at the end. If you make it there, you should be able to have a chance to finish it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And this is first, second, third, right? Like they all get a little bit of cash or no?
For second, third, yeah. And if you don't want to give money to 4th place, then you just say 4th place doesn't get any money,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But
Right.
don't eliminate them. At least let them fucking finish the race and cross
Yeah.
Because I would be pissed running half that shit and then getting eliminated halfway through and not being able to finish the final.
Good.
Oh, I'd be livid.
And look, I'm going to be honest. You never know what's going to happen in the second half
Yeah.
of a final. Like, and my biggest thing is like, I still hold against production that they eliminated Jordan and Marlon out of Rivals 2 because I think Jordan and Marlon could have made up a shit ton of ground on that second portion of that final.
Absolutely.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So that's kind of my thing. I wanted to ask you guys about the Jenny Derek situation where we get the flashback of when she helped Derek stay out of elimination, which was really Theo giving Cara a pass, and she's just riding the coattails, and she's going to call in this favor right before the end. And it's like,
On the literal, like, the last, like, girl's target.
and look,
day.
I like Jenny. I'm a fan of hers, but bitch, what the fuck are you thinking?
Good try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found it really funny when she was like, my check is invalid. I was like, yeah, that's what happens to checks when you don't cash them in time, sweetie.
Yeah.
That's literally what happens to them. It is invalid. You waited too long. Like, you can't do something on week like 3 when you guys are in a team. And then now on the very last elimination, when you guys are individual and the only people, if he doesn't pick you, the only people available for him to pick are literally his 2 closest alliance members. You don't get to cash in that check. It's not unfair. Like she said, this feels unfair. It's not unfair. That's just how it is, man. Like,
Poor timing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just how it works out. Try to cash it in next season that you play with Derek. Hey, remember, when I helped you in the, but you can't cash it. And honestly, I just want a round of applause for Derek. He stood so tough on that, and he did not even hesitate. He was like, no, sorry, like I can't do it.
I'm sorry, but
I loved that he didn't like lead her on in any type of way. He was just straightforward with her. It was like, look, it's, it's nothing personal. It's just, the way the numbers are, I can't do it. Like read the room. It's not going to happen.
I think if it would have been 3 or 4 weeks ago, he pulls it.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
not now.
Yeah. When there were more options,
And I think what that comes down to as well is you have to match favor for favor. So if she's saying that she kept him out of that elimination at that round, at that stage in the game, then you have to find an equivalent time to cash that favor in.
Yes.
When the
exactly.
stakes aren't so high for Derek to make that decision, which could negatively impact the remainder of his game. And because it's the challenge, subsequent seasons. I did just want to touch on when we were talking about like people getting eliminated in the final and the intro video. I meant to say it and then I said it in my head and then didn't realize that I didn't actually vocalize it. My connection, I took a different lens on the whole Big Easy thing. And based on the conversations that were had in this episode, I took it more as a flashback of pay attention to those around you and make sure no one gets left behind, more so than what was actually happening physically in the episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh,
I could see that.
Yeah.
And I made that mental connection and then carried on with the conversation in my head and didn't actually say anything.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But Cory calls, I forget her name, his current wife or fiance and his daughter,
Taylor?
Mila.
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. And then, talks to Mila and talks to them real quick. And it was really cute. And then he calls Cheyenne to talk
Oh
to
my
Ryder.
God.
And it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. She's
I
got my
loved
quote
it.
of the night.
Hilarious on this call. I loved how she called him out. She was like, how are you still there? I'd have thought you got the boot by now. You better come back a winner. Don't be gone a month and a half and come back a loser. I was like, oh no. And then he lost and went home.
Is that bad juju right there?
Damn, Shy.
As soon as they showed that too, I literally was like, fuck, Cory's going home. But then they showed Derek's phone call too. And I was like, but
What's going to happen?
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be Cory.
Yeah.
It just, I feel like the way they built up the story, it just leaned more towards Cory going home, and it sucks. But
Yeah.
no, I thought that was fucking hilarious. That especially shows that how fucking good of a relationship him and Cheyenne have for their daughter, and that's just a beautiful thing too.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was cool. And it was cool to see Ryder get so excited. Like when she got down off the wall, she was like all confused. And then she's like, Daddy, like just very cute. You can see like what a great relationship he has with his kids. And
Such amazing co-parenting there.
yeah, exactly. I love it.
Part of the reason I'm such a big fan of Cory is because of how he is on Teen Mom, because it's just like so respectable.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's my cat feeder. I changed the time today on it. I don't know what, like the clock on the cat feeder is wrong. So when I change it, it's still wrong.
Right.
When I saw Ryder, the first thing I thought about is like, I wonder if that was the day she was arguing with like Kim Kardashian's daughter about whose dad was more famous.
That's so funny.
I love that. I loved that so much. And I loved how Cory was like, don't argue with a Kardashian.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, don't do that. No.
It's not safe. Don't do it.
Don't even give them the time of day. Don't do it.
So, all right, you were right, because the next scene we get is the kind of party that they.
To be honest,
party's not even the right word.
To be honest, we did this last little bit out of order because I just didn't feel right talking about like this and then going into funny stuff and then back into this and then back into it worked fine for the episode, but it just doesn't work well for talking about these situations. But so anyway, we get the scene where Michelle, Cara, and Tori are kind of setting up like a support night to be with Derek and just kind of support him through, his little sister's coming birthday and the fact that he, has to go into elimination during on her birthday. And they just wanted to do like a nice little night for him. So they had a little cake for her birthday. They put up candles. And they just kind of sat there and let him talk and let him, tell his story. And, obviously we had heard a little bit of the start of this story back on All Stars 2 when it had happened, but we didn't get a whole lot of details. And we find out in this moment that, that she actually passed less than 48 hours before he had to leave for All Stars 2. And that was just like. And
he talked to her like 10 hours before she took her life.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking heartbreaking.
It was really, really heartbreaking. And, to watch him struggle with this moment, it was hard. It was hard to watch, but at the same time, I was very thankful that Derek is willing to be so open and so honest about his experience and his journey and his healing journey through this. Because I think that it needs to be talked about, and obviously like these topics are becoming more socially acceptable to talk about. And so, big shout out to MTV and all the producers and everything for giving Derek this platform in this moment to talk about this. And even the confessional they gave him, where he got to actually talk about resources, was great. So I want to first start off the conversation by giving a big prop to them and to the network for kind of being the place that allows that kind of stuff. Because I know it's more socially acceptable, but MTV has been doing this, since like the beginning of Real World Road Rules, The Challenge, all of that is, talking about these, or maybe not them talking, but allowing discussions on the show about these, sensitive subjects like this and, many other things that we've pointed out on the show before. But
MTV has directly addressed it, with the show itself, because I remember watching Road Rules back in the mid 90s, and I remember them doing a whole little thing where they had to film a video about suicide prevention and them using a song in the background. And it was a really popular song and, so on and so forth. But it is something that they've always been, kind of on the forefront of.
Exactly.
And Katie, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about it as well.
Yeah, I also, before I even get too deep into it, I don't want to forget, I really want to shout Tori out for how she specifically supported Derek in that moment. Just like the words that she said to him and how she lifted him up. I know as someone who has been in a similar boat, like how that feels when someone just sees you. Like Derek probably felt so seen in that moment. So thank you, Tori, for just being yourself. I'm so nervous. I am someone who has been unfortunately touched by suicide as well. Words are fucking hard. I wrote this all down. I'm sorry. I'm going to read because I feel like if I don't just read what I wrote,
absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. So personally, I know for me, like birthdays of past loved ones are always harder than the anniversary they passed. I truly have never been able to pinpoint why, but those days are usually like the worst days.
Yeah.
So for the fact that Derek was there on her birthday and had to do a fucking elimination, like the strength that man has, I just commend him so much. Like, and he's such a light for so many people who are struggling with the loss of a loved one to suicide. But MTV is really good about providing links and hotlines and all the information. But I did want to highlight another resource that has touched my life. It's the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And their website's just super simple. I think it's just afsp.org. But they literally have resources for anyone, whether you are someone who is struggling with your own mental health, or if you are on the other side of it where you've lost someone to suicide. There's such a stigma around suicide too, that it's so hard to talk about. Like, I don't have the words because it's so hard to talk about. But it's so important. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional.
No,
it's okay.
No, you're fine.
You're allowed to be.
Suicide's the 11th leading cause of death in the United States alone. And that number is too high. And those statistics, like the age ranges, it's literally all over the place. And if we don't talk about it, it's never going to get better. So I think it's so important to bring it to light. And the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, they do community walks like a lot of other foundations do. But I just love the name of theirs, and it's called Out of the Darkness.
Oh, I love that.
And it's so fitting for again, both sides of the coin. But I personally I lost my dad in 2006. He took his own life when I was 15. And a year later, his best friend also did. So I know that impact on me and my family and how it's affected my life up to this point. And I don't want other people to have to go through that because it's not easy. But if you are struggling, and not even just with your own mental health, but if you're struggling through your grief and you need support, that website, literally, it's so easy to navigate. There's all different kinds of support systems. They have like online chats and Zooms and courses and anything that you can dive into is there. But I did, I'm going to steal Stats and Info's hat, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because thank you. I just wanted to share, this is information directly from the website, but I want to highlight some of the actual statistics. And these were all pulled from the CDC's data and statistics of fatal injury reports for 2022. In 2022, there were 49,476 American deaths by suicide. And there were also 1.6 million suicide attempts. And that's just the numbers that are recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not everything that they miss. So I know those numbers are much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But men actually died by suicide 3.85 times more than women. And something that's also amazing about this organization is that they fund research for suicide prevention. So if you're someone who really likes stats and info and you want to do your own kind of resourcing and pulling data and information, there's an actual grant that they give. It's literally all on their website. But this statement I'm going to make is just my personal opinion. But I know when my dad took his life, his age range is that stereotypical age gap where mental health is not talked about. It's frowned upon. If you get help, you're crazy. You don't need help. I'm a man. And I know that I can't do the woulda, coulda, shouldas, but I'm someone who does not have an answer as to why. And that is something that I am in therapy for because it follows me through my life. But if we can prevent future people from feeling like there's no other out and then therefore leaving their families to struggle, like I want people to know like there's help out there. So I think that's all I got.
No, and look, Katie.
I was gonna say, I wish we could give you a big hug right now.
Like the first thing I want to say is thank you for being so brave and being open and vulnerable and sharing such a personal story with us and the listeners. Because I think it's so important that when people are open and vulnerable, it shows other people that they're allowed to be open and vulnerable too. And I know with men, that's a big cause of suicide because they feel like they're alone, that there's no one there that they can talk to and open up about it without being ridiculed or judged. And so you doing it shines a light and gives people permission to do it themselves. So thank you for that. And the websites that you listed, we're going to make sure that we have them linked down below.
Yes.
We also have 988. There are also specific numbers for Kids Help Phone as well as specifically for Indigenous peoples in Canada. And we have the Canadian Association for Suicide Prevention, which their website is suicideprevention.ca. And much like the resource that Katie had mentioned, it has all kinds of resources for people who are thinking about it themselves or they're worried about someone else, or how to help people who are grieving after the loss. So it's not something that everybody is necessarily comfortable with, but that shouldn't be the reason to shy away from it.
And look, if you're wondering what you can do to help, call your friends. Call your family, especially now during the holidays, and check in on them. Yeah. Ask them how they're really doing. Tell them you want to go grab a coffee. You know what I mean? And because you don't know what a plan made for tomorrow can do for someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I know that from experience. So
100%. Yes.
So I want to thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
look, we're going to take a really quick break on this one, and then we're going to come back and finish up this episode. Okay. I'm going to regret telling you guys this, but I'm going to tell it to you anyways.
I'm so excited.
So you know what I've started humming to myself today at work?
What?
Florida.
It's one hell of a drive.
Yeah. So,
Also, I have to tell you a cute story before we get back into recording. So
tonight? What happened?
Yeah,
okay.
tonight. So I don't know.
Does this have to do with your child?
Yes, has to do
My
with Luke.
spirit animal.
Yes. So I have no idea, and this one will actually make you proud of Rick. I have no idea where Luke came up with saying, like, he was just like running around yelling Tinkerbell, and we're like, dude, do you even know who Tinkerbell is? Because you've never seen Peter Pan. And he was like, no, you know, and Rick looks at Luke and he's like, Tinkerbell is a little tiny girl that looks like Taylor Swift, and she flies around and leaves glitter everywhere. And so now Luke thinks that Tinkerbell is a little tiny baby Taylor Swift. And I knew that you would just love that. I was like, oh, Katie's going to love this. She's going to eat it up.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to squeeze him.
So now he thinks that Tinkerbell is a little tiny Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, my face hurts. That's adorable.
So we're going to be watching Peter Pan tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're going to show him Peter Pan.
I'm going to go find like a Taylor Swift Cruel Summer, like little action figure and like glue butterfly wings on her or some shit.
There you go.
And send it to him.
All right. So I feel like we need to listen to this real quick just to kind of bring us back into our normal
Ooh,
selves.
yes,
So
yes.
What the fuck? For a second, I thought you guys had recorded my laugh.
The fact that you thought it was you made it even better.
I did.
Oh God, that's
It's like, why did you put me on the road?
It took me a second to make the connection. I was like, I've heard this before. And then I was like, is that what it fucking sounds like? But it's not.
It's like looking in the mirror, only not.
Oh my God.
That went way better than I could have ever anticipated.
Cory's reaction to it was even better than the noise itself.
Oh yeah, it was so
perfect.
great.
Hilarious.
So fucking great. All right, shall we close out these last 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's get this knocked out.
Okay, so after the scene with Derek and all that kind of leads us right into the elimination, which is closing time.
One more call.
Where are we going?
I don't know where we're going.
Finish your whiskey or beer.
It's like being there.
You can see the fucking full version of that on our Patreon.
You know you want to.
Yeah,
Challenge
subscribe
podcast
now.
karaoke.
Yeah.
Katie's barefoot the whole time.
Yep. No, I won't do it. I'm only going to wear socks from now on.
Socks and sandals. Dweeb.
Oh God.
Well, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to wear like half socks so that my heels can still be out.
What about like the
but
toe socks?
I don't know, because then you can still tell the length more.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good
We
point.
have to hide it until we trap him. And then once he's in, then I'll tell him.
There we go.
Lock him in.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Off subject, kind of, but Tony, have you seen Boomerang with Eddie Murphy?
Yes. Not recently, but yes.
So you get the toe reference that I've made about that with the longer toe. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one.
I need to see the clip of it at least.
I'll find it and I'll send it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, like I said, we don't get a chamber. We don't get really anything post noms. It's just straight into the elimination closing time. And look, I said this earlier. I like this elimination. I think it's a great elimination. It's just boring to fucking watch them pull a rope to lift a door to go grab cinder blocks and then bring them back. I can go to a job site and watch this happen.
Yeah. Poor Bananas had PTSD from this
I
one.
did.
Literally.
He was like, my back hurts just watching it.
You know, big props to Derek because he had a great strategy going into this.
Yep.
You know, he was kind of putting the puzzle together before he even carried the blocks over, and he had a good point. Like, because part of the rule was that you couldn't put any of the cinder blocks in the sand until all of your cinder blocks were moved over onto the little platform that they gave them. And it would have been very difficult to get them all on there, then take them all off to then rebuild it again. So, you know, which is kind of the situation that Cory put himself in, which in my opinion is what caused him to lose, because Cory was moving those plenty fast enough. You know, there were points he was carrying 4 at a time. I was like, damn, Cory.
Well, and look, this is where I want to give extra credit to Derek, because I didn't think Derek was going to keep up in the actual physical endurance portion of moving them.
He crushed it.
He fucking, and I think that put a lot of people on notice that, look, Derek's no fucking joke. He's not just floating through this. Like, he can carry his fucking weight.
Exactly.
Well, and everybody's giving him his flowers.
Yes.
Like, Jordan won't stop saying how good he is. Banana keeps saying how good he is. Like,
and that's my thing, honestly. Like, at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure that Derek feels the same way, but like at the end of the day, I don't care what fucking Bob or fucking Shelly or fucking Stephanie online have to say about how they feel about Derek not going into an elimination, or, you know, obviously now he has, but you know, up till this point, I don't fucking care, because honestly, at the end of the day, like, for fans to be like, oh, Derek doesn't deserve to be in the final is one thing. But for him to get the compliments he's been getting from people like Bananas, people like Jordan, like, that to me holds so much more weight than anything any fan could ever say about his performance in the game, because they're literally there playing with him. Like, they're competing against him. They know how good he is. And not coming in first doesn't, like, not coming in first place in a daily doesn't mean that you're, like, bad. It just, you know what I mean? Like, he also hasn't been coming in last.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, even going back to All Stars 4, Derek has consistently finished in the top almost in every daily. Like, it doesn't happen where he's down there in the bottom. It just doesn't.
Except for this one.
Well,
this was the one.
He had a bad daily, you know, and everybody has those days. You know, but I don't hold that against him. He lost the daily, he went into the elimination, he handled his shit, and he kicked ass. So, like, you can't even be mad about that, you know?
I mean, low key, to me, going into this, I thought, okay, Cory's going to smoke him on moving the cinder blocks. And then it's just going to come down to who's got the better words are hard. Who has the better strategy as far as solving the puzzle? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Derek just, like, he really impressed me, because I thought, you know, Cory's going to blow him away moving these cinder blocks. And Derek kept up with him and had that better strategy. And that's really the difference in it all.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So,
I agree 100%.
Really not much to say about that.
No, one side complete before Cory even had all the blocks over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was smart too, because for some reason Cory couldn't figure out what the image was.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Do they get to see the image, or they have to just figure it out?
Yeah, they gotta just figure it out.
Okay.
But I mean, every fucking puzzle's been the number 40 or something. Right. That's the challenge.
Well, and
I feel like they're wearing that logo on their shirt or something.
Yeah,
does it say 40 the challenge or the challenge 40?
Yeah. Well, and that was the part that, like, made me laugh, was when, like, Cory was like, I can't figure it out. And they're like, read us the sentence. And he's like, it says the challenge 40. And I'm like, so make it say the challenge 40. I don't what do you mean? Read the what sent it? Like,
so
Cory.
Puzzle kid.
Look, I know that there's rules that they give these contestants that we don't hear about. But, like, I've never heard them say, like, you can't just go run over to their side and look at their board. I would have done that. I would just, and then when they told me no, I'd be like, oh, my bad. I didn't know I couldn't do that.
No one said I couldn't.
Yeah.
Easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Exactly.
But, you know, look, and like I said earlier, like, I was fucking gutted about this, because this was really one of those seasons that I thought Cory could win it. And I'm a big Cory fan, but I'm also a big Derek fan. So even though Derek won, to me, there's no winners in this situation, because two of my favorites had to go in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
it's
Oh,
tough.
and their hug at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mutual respect going in and the mutual respect going out. Loved it.
Yes. Yes.
Look, and Cory has become so fucking gracious in defeat.
Yes.
It's just
He really has.
He's like, it wasn't my time, but I miss those girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, that's the real gift. You know, and all credit to him because look, as a parent, I don't know how they fucking do it. I
Oh,
really don't.
I would die. I could not be
Yeah.
away that long.
Dude, just to be honest, this last week I was with Harper like almost every single day, and she's like, "Not Wednesday, Dad. I need a day off." I was like, "No, you needed Wednesday because that's your mom's only day off. It's okay. I get it. I love you too."
Yeah.
Fucking break my heart. What do you mean you need a break?
Dude, when we went to Michigan, that was tough for me. Like it
Oh, I
was
bet.
that's the longest time I've ever been away from the kids.
Yeah.
So that one was tough.
Timing wise, can you imagine if I would have gone? I would have had like a
Oh,
Yeah.
2-week-old.
Yeah, you would have been a mess.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able
You
to.
wouldn't have had fun.
There were many reasons why I could not have gone.
No.
You'd have been way too worried about Sarah and the baby. You wouldn't even been able to like enjoy yourself. You know what I mean?
You would have been on video call the entire time. Oh, what are we doing now?
I would have
Jesus.
felt even worse about ending us up in the ghetto too.
Well, and that's the thing is like, fuck, our kid's 6 years old. I still FaceTimed him twice a day.
2-3 times a day.
You know what I mean?
Harper's 10. I do that.
100%. Yeah. So Derek ends up winning this. He's got to select new targets. He picks Rachel, Jenny, and then Cara, and it cuts back to a scene where right after looks like the daily Cara goes, "Look, dude, I'm going to make it easy. Put me in. Don't worry about choosing between me and Michelle. Just put me in." And she says in a confessional, "Look, Michelle's been down there 3 times already. Like, I need to take this one." And I'm like, fuck, Cara, I kind of want to see you go back to a final. I don't want to see you go into an elimination right before the end.
Well, maybe we'll get lucky and she'll like win the daily or something. You know what I mean? And
It's bad luck.
Yeah.
it is. But I don't know. I also see where she's coming from. Like obviously I'm a huge advocate on don't nominate yourself. Don't put yourself into the elimination. But I also see where she was coming from. You know, Derek was already in a highly emotional state, having to go into an elimination on, his sister's birthday, and everything that he was fighting internally. And then to just stack on top of that, like making him choose between 2 of his closest friends in the house, knowing that one of them has been in 3 times and you haven't done anything, I get where Cara was coming from, and she's such a great competitor that I'm almost just like, all right, just it's fine, but handle your shit, okay? Win the fucking daily, like
There can't be 2 swimming dailies in a row. I got this.
literally, right? Yeah. So like normally they only do 1, so I don't know, like maybe she'll get lucky and next, episode will be, something she's good at.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm like,
no, and that's what I'm hoping to.
But props to her for it because she stood up. She made the situation easier for Derek. She took a lot of pressure off of Michelle, and and she, like I said, she's a good competitor. So it's not like I can be like, oh my god, you're gonna lose and go home. So
and it's Michelle's chance for a final.
yeah,
As long as she doesn't lose the daily.
Yeah. So I mean, based on I guess we can't make any assumptions because literally if anybody loses, they're going in. So it doesn't even mean, even if Tori were to lose the daily, she's going in. So,
yeah.
But we have the final 4 for the men, which is Kyland, Derek, Bananas, and Jordan.
Freaking wow.
TJ drops a bomb on this that we haven't seen in a while.
oh, so excited.
We're changing locations.
Woo!
I want to go around the original round table and get your opinion. Where are they going?
Oh.
Are we talking like specifics or are we talking like type of environment?
I want
Because I'm never going to be able to just pick a country and tell you a country's name.
Yeah.
But
continent.
I'm
Give
curious.
me a continent.
Continent? What is a continent? Continent is the word that is tripping me up. Continent, 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 continent.
Are they staying in Asia? Are they going somewhere else? And if you can tell me the continent, what kind of location? I'm not expecting you to tell me Croatia.
They're going somewhere cold.
South America mountain.
So here's my thing. TJ says what he says
Not
is
green.
the next time I see you guys, it'll be a lot less green.
Yeah, that could be a desert.
Would
Right.
it be a desert or would it be a snowy mountain?
I was gonna say maybe he's going to Greenland because Greenland is actually ice and Iceland is green.
Learn that in Mighty Ducks.
I really, really
too.
want them to
Me
go.
three.
I really want them to go to the mountains. I really want to see another final
Yeah.
in the snow. I want to see them have to climb a mountain and be in the cold again. I don't want to see another desert final. I really don't.
What if they go and climb the summit?
Dude, I was about to say.
That'd be hilarious.
I want to see them climb a mountain and Bananas pass out and not finish it if he makes it to the final. That's what I want to see.
Rude.
Hey, so it can be thrown back in his face what he said to CT.
I just want to see him finish first, and then
Yeah, and then the karma points.
a woman finish first, and they say, all right, whoever finished first overall can steal the other person's money, and like one of the women steal his money.
What if they get up there and then he is supposed to win, but then the karma points fuck him over and he actually gets $0?
That would be
I legitimately
hilarious.
forgot about
Guys,
the
what
karma
if
points.
he wins?
No.
Just what if he wins?
Yeah, but we
For
don't have to
you.
worry about that.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, we do.
No.
We've
Okay.
seen the
Zero.
other people in the final.
So,
Just say that.
so I think they're going somewhere like New Zealand. And
Okay.
I think it is going to be climbing a mountain though, but not
isn't
all
New
over New
Zealand?
Zealand. Some parts of New Zealand are
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, duh. You just said the summit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, the summit was in New Zealand?
that's why
Yes.
yeah,
I
that's
had
why I
no
brought
idea.
that up low key is because I think that's where
That's
they're
why
going.
I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to name a continent or a country or anything like that.
South
Just-
America, Argentina.
okay.
And that's also CBS production is already set up in New Zealand. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe they are, but it was supposed to take 14 days, so they'd have to go to the very end.
it's true.
They probably don't have to follow that trek, though.
How do you guys feel about them changing location prior to the final women's elimination and Cory sitting there with a disappointed look on his face?
Oh, he was so
Oh.
He
bummed
had to be
Yeah,
there
it
the whole
was.
time.
that he missed the location change. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
we didn't get to see his karma points.
No.
Mm-mm. There's a lot of people's we didn't see this season.
Yeah.
They've only showed us some
I
people's.
was like, we saw Josh's, but then we didn't see
Yeah.
the woman before him.
I think it's because they don't want us to be able to calculate
track.
where,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
what's going to happen.
Stupid.
Yeah, no, it very much is giving me like Rivals 1 vibes with them leaving before the final elimination. You know, that's what they did on Rivals 1. They had relocated and then we got the elimination of, you know, the choo-choo elimination.
Mhm.
I don't know what's worse, like getting eliminated right before the location change or doing
Or
the location
after.
change and then immediately getting eliminated and having to leave right away. Like, I don't know what's worse.
I guess it would depend on if it's closer to home. Like, if it's closer to home, then sure, take me there. Because then if I get eliminated, I just gone home.
To take a long ass flight, possibly get
Yeah.
Right,
eliminated,
yeah.
to take another long ass
I
flight.
don't want to do that.
Back to back.
Like, for the people that were there, like Cory, or not Cory, but like let's say, you know, fucking, who is it?
Devin.
Cara goes home because
Oh,
she gets
Cara, yeah.
nominated, right? But she was planning on going to Bali, but now they're flying all the way to South America or some shit, so now she'd have to go all the way fucking back. It was just funny.
That'd be hilarious, yeah.
So, okay, before we get into MVPs and close this out, I want to know, who do you think the final 4 girls are going to be?
Ooh.
Cory.
Well,
Who
that's
wants to
one.
go? Who wants to go first? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'll go first. I think it's going to be, Tori, Rachel, Jenny, Michelle.
Ooh.
Oh, you think Cara's out? Sorry, I had to think about it.
Yeah, I think Cara goes out because of eliminating herself. It just never works out.
I think we might lose Jenny,
That's what I think.
which I don't want, but I think that's what might happen.
Well, especially if you think that the big easy flashback is to someone gassing out in their losing stamina in a final, then if you think it has to do with the next episode, that was kind of my first thought, that Jenny's stamina isn't really the best.
Oh,
so
that's a good
we'll
point.
see.
And that's
I mean, we'll see if she's climbing a mountain, because especially the altitude,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true. That's a good point.
I mean, you see her in the what's next, just sitting there gassing.
Yeah.
And you
That's
don't
true.
know what that's from, though.
What do you think?
Maybe it's just my, like, I don't know, my lack of faith in her ability to perform in dailies. But I just have this feeling that Michelle is going to come in last and end up getting sent in. And then she's got to either go against Cara, Jenny, or Rachel. And I just have a feeling it's going to be that the final girls, 4 girls are going to be Tori, Cara, Rachel, and Jenny. And honestly, as much as I love Michelle and I would love to see her get her first final on this season, those 4 girls running a final against each other would fucking be incredible. And I would love to see who comes out on top of that. So I wouldn't be mad about it, but also I really like Michelle this season. So I'm like, it's hard for me to say that. Like, I'm like, but I just have this, I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that it might be Michelle that ends up being the last girl out. And that would just be heartbreaking for her to go out right at the fucking end. Oh my God. I'd be so
Especially
mad.
because her and Kyland are the only 2 people who haven't been in a final.
Yeah.
And then if she doesn't go, she's the only person from the season who wasn't in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who hasn't gone yet?
I don't know. I think everybody's kind of
Josh.
gone or
Don't be calling me out like that. I wasn't going to let it slide. I wasn't going to say anything.
Jenny's going
I wasn't going to let it slide. I had to say my name. I had to pick Jenny.
So I'm stuck. I think the elimination is going to come down to Jenny and Michelle. And I think for some reason, it's just Michelle's going to be able to pull it out again. And Jenny's going to get sent home.
Michelle's got quite a resume. Like, I know that the eliminations that she's been in haven't all been like physical, but she's got quite a resume of people that she's bested on in the sand.
Yeah, she does.
I'm just saying, I don't know the exact numbers, and I don't know if Tony knows them right off the top of his head. I don't think he does, even though he's stats and info. The amount of people that self-nominate and still win the elimination is super low.
Very low.
Yeah.
So just putting that out there. Keep that in mind.
What do you think, Katie?
I don't know. There's so many different things that could happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel it's never good when you nominate yourself for something.
Yeah.
So that in my like gut is like, I don't feel like it's good for Cara. But also I can see what you're saying about Michelle. So that's what I'll narrow it down. One of them.
Okay. That's fair.
That's
All right. Let's go with MVPs. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. Derek, and then honorable mentions, Tori and Cory.
Yeah, same. My female MVP is Tori. My male MVP is Derek with a very high honorable mention to Jordan. And the only reason Derek edged out is just, because of everything again. That's what I'm going with. Tori and Derek and Jordan.
Do we always do male and female MVP?
I always do.
You can do whatever you want. There's no rules.
Okay, well,
just like the challenge.
And they change week to week.
Yeah.
Derek definitely deserves my MVP. He kicked ass, and I also just feel like, you know how when something happened, like we always say, when Janae became a parent, she came back and she kicked ass.
Yeah.
Like when there's something life-changing that happens to somebody and then they come back and they've got like that fire in them. Like, I feel like that kind of happened to him and now he's just got a lot more to fight for.
Yeah.
And so he definitely deserves that. I also want to do my honorable mention to Cory because that's my dude.
Love him.
And female MVP to Tori, obviously for winning, but she also was just like really good at being herself in this episode. Like she was really there for Derek and even was cheering for Cara and just like, you can't say shit about Tori because she practices what she preaches and that's positivity. And like, she obviously has gotten over a lot of stuff in this season and still was cheering for someone she wouldn't have even called her friend at the beginning.
I loved it so much.
Yes.
I loved seeing her cheer for Cara. Yeah.
Can you imagine the photo shoots that are going to happen from this?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
Also, I just want to say really, really quick, I just want to throw this in because I'm thinking about it. Speaking of cheering, Tori and Michelle and everybody going, woo, good job, great job. That's how you cheer for both sides, okay?
Yes.
That's how you do it. Just, woo, great job. No name. Like, just, that's how you're supposed to do it, okay, Josh?
In my notes, I was like, who are they cheering for?
Yeah.
But let's be honest. This isn't. Cory didn't get it on her first try. It's taken her a couple tries to figure out how to do that.
Facts, big
Yes.
facts.
So-
But that was a masterclass with them on how you cheer for both sides.
I.e.
So.
Emmanuel Devon.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Josh, who you got?
I got same as you. I'm giving it the whole episode MVP to Derek with the honorable mentions of Tori and Jordan. Like I said, one of the first things I didn't watch it until today. The first thing I did was watching that elimination. I had tears in my eyes. I took a picture. I sent it to you guys. I sent it to Derek. And I told Derek, I was like, for whatever it's worth, I'm proud of you. And he said, thank you. And I was just like, to watch him from Real World Cancun to now, to be able to get into a final. And I'm happy. I'm here for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
What do you got, Katie?
Same. It's got to go to Derek because everything. And I know we kind of touched on how, like, him sharing his vulnerability, but I forgot I wanted to say something because he's the reason that we watch the show. These are the cast members we want to see that are sharing their true real life stories.
Yep.
They're not filtering themselves. Like, I guess I'll just leave that at that. But thank you, Derek, for being yourself. And then not honorable mention, my female goes to Tori, of course, and everything Alexis said about her. And this is why, like, I gravitate to Tori because I'm like, I want to be friends with Tori.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, I want to hang out with her. This is like, this whole episode is all the reasons why.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I gotta give honorable mention to Cory because I'm gonna miss him. He's so funny. Like, all his little things, like even when he's going off the cliff in the car, I love the challenge. Just,
Puzzle King.
yes.
He's so funny. I love him.
I
Yeah.
just love him, and he's so like just natural about it.
Yeah.
It's never forced. Just I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, I agree.
Tony, who you got?
Derek for episode MVP. I'm going to give Cory a season-long honorable mention MVP because this has been by far my favorite Cory season.
Yeah.
And this from like USA 2 into this is like, this is the arc that I've been waiting for Cory.
Yes.
Of really just getting it. And I fully see him winning sometime soon, like within the next couple of seasons, easy.
Yeah.
Same.
Female MVP, Tori, honorable mention for Jordan, because they both absolutely killed it. And like you guys have said, this season has been great for people really lifting each other up. There have only been a few instances of people tearing each other down, and they don't get as much response and they don't get as much airplay. And that's what makes it better for me.
Yeah.
The house drama isn't the same kind of drama, and that's what I appreciate about season 40 especially.
Yeah, I mean, some of those people, like when they get backed into a corner, they just become really catty, shitty people. So,
Fact.
Just putting that out there.
I will also say
Some people.
just some of them, but the daily, I figured out how we could improve it. If when you got your 4 lights to light up, you got shot off the cliff like they did in some of the earlier seasons.
Oh yeah.
So then, depending on how quickly you get it, that's how much further you fly, and then that's how much distance you don't have to swim.
See, on
Oh,
TV,
yeah.
this is why you just need to hire us to help
Yep.
you. But
Facts.
We'll figure it out. Just
I digress.
send us on location for 3 months and pay us a substantial
fun.
fee.
All expenses paid,
Yeah.
And our kids have to come.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
We'll make it great again.
You're welcome.
Fuck yeah.
Well, guys, that wraps it up for us tonight. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you get an opportunity, make sure you subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Anything less, we're inclined to think you're a hater. And if you do feel that way, write at Biodomer on Instagram.
Yes.
But for myself, Ricky Hayes. Yeah, there we go. I got it.
Yeah, that's you.
That's you.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think so.
You
yourself?
had it the first time.
Yeah.
Are there two of you?
I
Matrix was glitching.
did a little something on the break, so I might be forgetting who I am. So for myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes. We've got Alexis, Piss in the Field Rawson, Josh motherfucking Chambers, Stats and Info, Tony Lance, 2 people, Katie, Bad Blood Pahura. You can catch her in Florida. We want to thank you so much. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be good to each other. We love y'all. Good night.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Pay me my money.
Give me my money.
Nobody said peace.
Oh, well, there you go. Say it with your chest, Alexis.
I said, hey, dirty.
Baby, I got your money.
Don't you worry. Say,
Hey. Baby, I got your money.
see the rest on Patreon, bitches.